Buffalo Bills at the Jacksonville Jaguars. Buffalo Bills, gigantic, over 2 touchdown favorites here, 14.5, a total of 48.5. What we've seen here, Brad, with this Bills team is they have been good. There's no doubt about that, and I'm not taking anything away from the Buffalo Bills. In my power rankings, I have them number 2 overall in the NFL, if that says anything. What I will say is this offense has not always looked like a well-oiled machine, and they certainly have had these clunky moments and stretches of games where they don't look very competent. I don't think it will matter here in this game against Jacksonville, who is, if we're talking power rankings, one of the bottom 3 teams in all of the NFL, but they do have to cover more than 2 touchdowns in this thing. What are your initial thoughts on, a 14.5 point spread here for the Bills against the Jags?
I agree with you. I think the Bills are overrated, right? You look at something like their DVOA on short passes. Last year, they were one of the very best in the league. This year, they're down around 16th. And I think it's fair to say we've seen Josh Allen's accuracy step back a bit, right? We thought it may do because he took such a huge leap to one of the best in the NFL. And now he's kind of back in the middle of where he was 2 years ago and where he was last year. So I'm not sure this is an elite offense. And then defensively, again, I still think they're overrated just because of who they've faced. Now, this week, obviously, they're facing more garbage.
Yeah.
It's tough to know what to do. I would say again, if you're going to get any effort out of the Jags, this is probably the week. All right, this look ahead line I think was 11.5, and we've gone through 14. Obviously, a bit of a key number, just because of how bad they looked last week. Is that a surprise? Given they got their first win, they've got Urban Meyer in charge. They went off on the bye. They've probably all got drunk, had Halloween parties, which they didn't pay for. So I think we'd probably get a good effort if there's still any buy-in at Jacksonville. And I would say 14.5, I think you could only back the Jags personally at that number.
Yeah, it seems to me like a situation where you only have one way to play, and I think it would be the Jags at 14.5. That said, I ain't running to the window, Brad, to go ahead and take 14.5 points with the Jags from what I've seen so far with this. I mean, listen, it is not to sports talk radio this, but they need to fire everybody and start over. If you think that Trevor Lawrence is actually the guy and you think that he's the future of this franchise, he is getting ruined right now. They are not using him to his abilities. They are calling horrible plays. Everything has gone wrong for this team. So they've got to do something. We have seen some of these better teams really beat up on the lowly teams so far this year, though. I mean, we've seen a 20-point spread get covered in the NFL so far this year. And so that leaves me a little bit worried as to how this might go. So I like you, I think I lean towards the Jags at getting more than 2 touchdowns, but at the same time, I don't have the guts to put it in my account. I'll be fully transparent with that one.